on this very windy day, I'm going to work out the flooring to go into the helm area. So this is where we made good and painted previously. Needs another coat of paint on it, but it's not worth doing it now because obviously it's going to get quite messy in here, so I won't do that until we're ready to finish. The flooring will be put down temporary as well. It's just to make sure that everything fits into place, and then it will be removed once these covers come off. So there's the inside of the boat. Okay, so what I'm going to do here is 3 sections. If I can hold the phone properly. First section here, this will be where the Eberspacher is going in. So each of these sections will have a floor down the bottom and partitioning sides. So this is the first part of the floor. Second part of the floor is the central area. This is where the fuel tank and the water tank is going to go, so it's going to be one lift up lid there. Third part over there is probably where the batteries are going to go, and then towards the rear you've got the area there which will hold all the exhaust and steering cables. Centre obviously being the engine attached to the leg, and spare space behind me. Not quite sure what that's going to be. Might even put the Eberspacher in there actually, move it back a bit and use this first area simply as a storage locker. Right, so I'm just about to work out the flooring now. We're going to do it in 12mm plywood with a rubber faced. It will be the coin faced rubber, and then round the edges we'll have aluminium. On the undersides you'll barely see the aluminium on the top, and that's for a strengthener under the corners and a protector, and obviously the lift up eyes on it. Okay, let's get cutting. So there's that section put in. Now everything's going to stay in place for the measurement on that side. There we are then, all the decks cut out and put in place. slightly screw with at the moment because that take the metal bars out, so there is gaps around them. And as you can see, they all fit exactly how they're supposed to, including that 10mm gap. Not a 10mm gap? What do you mean it's not a 10mm gap? Of course it is. This is why I said make sure you measure at least 3 times before you cut. Unfortunately, being a bit of a div, the 10mm that I needed to take off the 60, which the distance was, to the wood, I actually took 10 centimeters off and ended up cutting it twice. And that's how it should be after a second attempt. But at least you know now. Measure again, then check that you're using the right figures. Right, onto the side walls. Right, that's the side panel. Making it look a lot better now, isn't it? Yeah. It's a nice colour, that stuff. The original, that's how it is at the moment. Now this obviously is not fixed in, like none of these boards are fixed in. This actually bends to where you can't really see that, to be honest with you. But it does have a curve in it when it's fixed. The panel, I can feel it, is 2 inches off the top. So it goes tight in down the bottom, and then it's fixed back here, like 2 inches over that way, and that gives the whole panel a nice curve. But yeah, that's how they would have originally done it. Only they would have varnished that up, because it does look a nice piece of ply, that. But that's not the way we're going. I don't want to go back to an old dark wooden boat. Let's get away from that. A bit more modern look we want. Okay, that's it for today, and I shall finish that one probably now, so that it's ready for tomorrow, and then we'll think about what we're doing next, which will probably be staining all this in its preserver, and then cutting the metal bars out properly, doing the angles on them, and then fixing them to the side with the rubber on top. So what are we up to today apart from making a mess? Well, I'm building the framework for the seating that goes at the back. As you can see, I'm making box sections, cutting to the wood there for strength, either side, and then cross struts over the top. Now this is the original wood that would have been in there. All they had was this L shape, which would have sat like that. So the only strength in that is the panel that goes across the front, the ply panel, and then obviously the seating goes on the top. So if you're working on anything behind there, new pipes or anything, you take the panel off, then these simply used to wobble about like that, which was not very good. So what I've done is I've made box sections, one either side. That one's got to be finished, and the idea behind this is I can simply pick the box up, take it out, then the whole of that area is free to work in. When work's finished, put it back in. Now these have got to come out, and they're only loose fitted at the moment, and they're not even screwed down properly. But they've got to come out because the side panels have to come out, as I said before. This one is fitted as it is, but it's still got to come out to be treated. It's been treated on this side, it's not been treated on the other side, and it is going to have vinyl. That's the plan for that, to have vinyl right across. This one the same, but this one's got to be trimmed down at this edge. I've already described it. It'll be trimmed down, and then I want to extend it a bit further, because originally this area was left open, so you can just see the side of the hull. whereas I want it like that on that side. And then what I'll probably do is put some paneling down here, so all that is panelled off, then the seat comes in, seat cushion comes into this bit, so it all looks nice and neat and tidy. Right, so that's what we're doing. So the next thing, get these cross struts put on, then remove them all from the boat, strip them down again, treat the edges where I've cut, sand them down first, and then paint the whole lot up, so when I put them back in they match everything else, although that paintwork is getting a bit untidy now with all that mess down there. But remember, it's got to be done again, so hey ho. Okay, let's get on with it. Right, I just put the two top struts on that one, finish that off, so now I'm going to take them outside, strip them down again, treat them, sand them and paint them. Not necessarily in that order. Right, that's the framework all prepped and in place. I have run out of screws unfortunately, so it's not all screwed down on that side. That's how it sits with the seat top. That's the original seat top, which you may or may not be using, but I thought I'd tidy it up anyway. But, that hole for where the gas goes, I shall probably cut that larger, have a new lid in there. And the reason for that is because every time, usually on this boat, when they wanted to fill the gas up and put a new gas bottle in, they had to take the whole top off just to put the gas bottle in, which I think is a bit pointless. Just cut the hole to the size of the bottle, plonk it straight inside. Right, well I think that's enough for today. It's coming along, and as I always say, all of this has all got to come out again so that it can be prepped and finished. Front panel's got to be cut tomorrow. I'll probably do that in 6mm as a starter template anyway. I'm not sure how this is going to go because it's got to have a cutout there obviously for the engine. My original plan was just to do the sides and then here the engine cover coming right up to the seat, but I don't know, we'll see how it goes. It was a pyramid shape, if you can remember from the pictures before. You have to think about it. I'll put a little picture in there just after what I'm saying. But yeah, that's about it for today. I'm done in. Right, catch you next time. Okay, right now I'm putting these side panels on. As you can see, I've cut out that. Quite easy to do actually, just off of the square panel up to the side of the boat, inside obviously, and then with your pen just mark around the edge of the boat and cut that piece out and then trim down to suit. That might not be the actual size, don't forget that's going to be material on there, and probably a speaker in the side of it there somewhere. And yeah, I'm on the other side. I'm just starting this one, so I've pinned it up there for the moment. Those 2 points there are the brackets for the seat that comes through, and then it sits across there and the seat sits up on that bit. As you can see, that's the front of the helm. So this panel here that I'm cutting out now, I don't know whether it's going to stay exactly like it is because obviously I'm getting a new control. Originally it was mounted on this part of the boat but sitting on the top, and what I want really is a side so you just see the handle, you don't see anything else inside. But that's not been finalised yet, and it may well even go down this panel here. What they originally had, you can see this lighter area here, what they originally had was a box that sat out across there, and the control was mounted on the top, part on this, part on the fiberglass. So basically, as your arm, if you imagine your arm sitting out the side of a car window as you're driving, that's how you would be with the control in your left hand, not your right hand. But I want to try and put it lower down. Doesn't need to be stuck up there. But as I said before, things change as we go on, and we'll see what happens. With this panel going along here, the intention was to vinyl that as well, so there'd be a lighter grey in that area up there. I'm not sure as I'm going on. I mean, it's a nice piece of wood, but as I'm going on, and I'm going to be boxing in sections along here, and that'll be down the engine side, because that's got to have noise dampening on it as well. And then there's where the gas bottle sits in the box there. That'll all be panelled in. Now, the only way to vinyl that at the full length would be to take all of this out, then remove those, then vinyl them and put them back in before installing all this again. Now remember, that's going to have a front panel right across that. It comes, blocks in that whole side there, comes along to the engine, does a little curve up over the engine, and then goes down on the other side. So all that will have to come out as well. I don't know. It depends on how I finish it in the first fix as to whether I'm going to take that out, because that means that vinyl has got to be done really before anything else is installed. And we are open to the elements at the moment, and obviously working on the boat, there's a chance that someone, me or someone else, could damage the vinyl while we're working in the boat, and that wouldn't be good, because I'd have to take it all out and redo it again. But we'll see how we go with that. It would certainly look better with the vinyl on it. Right, what I'm doing now is just doing the edging for the deck. Give you an idea where I am. This is the battery compartment, which is under the helm seat, and forward is the exhaust system. This edging down here I've replaced with new wood. Obviously primed it up so it's protected, but instead of just leaving it as wood as it was previously, I'm going to cover it with aluminium, give it more protection. So screwed that in, piece of C aluminium there, you can see that, drilled and countersunk, and then what that does is that typically fits, he says, over the top of there. There you go, and then that's just got to be screwed in now. I've left a 15mm gap up there. That's where the edge board goes across the front of the seat. I'm actually running out of screws for this, so we should only be able to do a few, I should think. Only need small screws in the side. So we're just already held down the screws. Started. Gotta do things the easy way. Don't forget, always use stainless steel screws for everything. Not worth the worries of using other screws. I know they're cheaper, but you will find that they'll rot and rust very quickly, and all your hard work falls apart. There you go, gives it a nice edge on the deck. So when the deck pieces are finished, as I say, they've got the aluminium around the outside of the deck, so that'll meet up to there, the deck on it. There's a bit of deck here. And that sits on like so. This is the right side one. Yeah, so that sits along there and obviously butts up with aluminium up that end as well. And as I've said a few times before, that's then covered in the coin rubber. Give it a nice quietness on it as you're walking around on the deck. So, just the other side to put down now. The other good thing about this actually is, should any water get in here, I mean this is fairly dry under here because it'll have a roof on the top of it, which goes just over halfway across the deck, almost up to the back seat really, so you're not expected to get a lot of water in here, but should you get some water in here, it goes down the sides in any way, it will go down there underneath this board, because this board is raised off the floor, into the gully, and that will travel backwards and down into the bilge. All stops the water build up, which tends to rot things very quickly in boats, but it won't happen in this one, he says. Right, so what we'll be doing is that side. I've already got the wood put in place, painted, so that's under the passenger side rear seat, just to show you where we are. But I don't think I've got enough screws for this. There you go, that's not even going to move without any screws in it, but belt and braces. Five required. Possibly four. Okay. Guys, now quickly you run out of screws. Always buy them in bulk as well, it's a lot cheaper, and you will need them if you're doing a full restoration. All that's to be finished. And unfortunately I'm now waiting on 12mm ply, marine ply. I did have an order from another company over a week ago. They sent me exterior ply, which is not marine ply. It wasn't to the standard of BS 1088. I've returned that, and lo and behold they sent me the wrong stuff again. They stipulate that that is marine ply, but I know what marine ply is, and it's not worth the chance to put something else down, so I've got to go to another supplier again. So I won't tell you the company's name that let me down, well, unless they don't give me my money back, of course. Then I shall shout it from the rooftops. But that's my tale of woe anyway. Okay, it's enough for now.